Well, after correcting some misspellings, we're here, we're live, and we're about 6 minutes late. I apologize for that. But welcome to the Integrated Health of Indiana's Talk at 10. We're still waiting on Jessica to get here, and we're going to talk about secret number three, which is movement. And we're going to talk about how movement affects us, and then probably as soon as Jessica gets here, we'll also discuss the what we've been doing together and how this just helps every aspect of life. And I'm going to talk briefly about the benefits of exercise. And so one of the big things that I noticed, and it's kind of funny, my dad, love my dad to death. He has some great one-liners, and when he was younger, or when I was younger, dad would say, I don't care what you do, just do something. And so it's that motivation to get going. It's that motivation to start with moving forward and with getting the process going forward. Because when we start to look at things like depression, and we start to look at anything that has to get done, as soon as you start moving on it, you start actually feeling better. And so the benefits of exercise, of course, right off the bat, help control your weight. And then when we see number two there, you know, reduce your risk of heart diseases. This is from, if you look up at the top, this is from Medline, which is part of the government. So it helps you control your weight. And then you look at reduces the risk of heart diseases. It helps manage your blood sugar, it helps you quit smoking, it helps you with your cholesterol levels, your blood pressure, all of these things. And we're just talking about movement. Guys tend to like a little more high intensity exercise. Women like to walk, and they like to do some. I'm not talking about the 20 somethings, 30 somethings that are sitting there saying, hey, I got to, achieve and overachieve and go do. They're going to go hit the gym, and they're going to be doing high intensity interval training, which is good for both sexes. But, if you just want longevity, it's 30 minutes a week of a brisk walk, which you can take through the woods, you can take around the block, you can do whatever you want to do. This is one of the secrets to being healthy. We definitely have to measure or manage the blood sugar and insulin levels. If you're smoking, when you want a cigarette, just go outside, start walking around. As soon as you start to exercise, your body will start to quell the withdrawal symptoms. This is a big one. Improve your mental health and mood. There is not a drug on the face of the planet that is as good for you for depression or for mood elevation and all of those things that go along with it. Nothing beats exercise. If you're having issues with thinking, learning, judgment, this really boils down to your ability to get out there and just start to high intensity interval training releases what is called BDNF, and that increases your brain's capacity to think, learn, and make judgment calls. It increases the synapses within the brain. And that's why I like high intentional interval training. It's also why I like, even playing the guitar is part of exercise. It improves the brain's ability to do things and to make those connections. When you are doing resistance training, it helps with strengthening bones and muscles. When you're running, when you're having impact, you cause micro tears in the bones and you cause micro tears in the muscles and the body. As long as you have good things in your body, the body will start to repair those and they come back stronger. When you're looking at the reduce of risk of some cancers, the things that are happening there is colon cancer. See how they kind of highlight colon, breast, and uterine. The colon, once you start to move, the blood gets going, the colon gets stimulated, and you have to go to the bathroom. When you're running or doing exercise, you increase lung capacity, which also helps with fighting some lung cancers. But it's one of those things that it's just the movement causing the release of brain derived neurotrophic factor. It controls the insulin, so the inflammatory response. It releases or helps release the cytokine or the cytotoxic things. It brings those down. It is what is known as a hormetic stressor. So it causes a little bit of bad things to happen, which your body can handle, but then it comes back even stronger. Reduces your risk of falls because you're going to be challenging your ability to balance. It improves your sleep, especially if you exercise in the morning. When you exercise in the morning, you're getting that stimulation from the sun into the eyes. It's allowing the body itself to really get strong and to set up circadian rhythm so that as the sun goes down, you're going to want to sleep. Improves sexual health through vascularity, helping the heart get stronger. You can pump blood where you need to pump it. It's just, and for guys, it increases testosterone, which increases desire. And it's all positive. You really just don't have a downfall. And then increases your chances for living longer. That's really very interesting, because when you start to look at your chances for living longer and you look at this, you can really go into, if you exercise in a fasted state, then what's happening is you are increasing cellular apoptosis and autophagy. Weak cells will be programmed to die. And that's what you want. You want these weak cells that are there to die off. And then you want the body to go in and take the cellular machinery that it can reuse and then reallocate those things for the body so that the body can do the things that it needs to do to get stronger and to get healthier. And those are the list of just a few of the benefits of exercise. And as we go into it, how do you exercise and what is movement? And this is one of those things where it's very important. What is the best exercise? And I don't know how many times I've heard, what is the best exercise? And the best exercise is the exercise that you will do and stick with on a regular basis. It has to be something that you like and enjoy doing. Now, some of the exercises that you do may not be what you love, but as long as you enjoy it, you'll do it. And so when we look at making it an everyday activity, and then you're making every day more active, CrossFit, I absolutely love CrossFit. You all have heard me talk about that before. Go to a gym that has a good coach. The coach is key. And as you have a good coach who does good programming and who watches your form, then you don't get injured. If you look at endurance exercises, those things are good for increasing cardiovascular health. So you kind of have to mix and match. A couple of days of high intensity interval training. Good morning, Kathy. Still waiting on Jessica to get here. Endurance training or doing lots of cardiovascular things. You go out, you exercise, you do the things that you want to do for a long period of time. I used to train for triathlons, and it wasn't anything for me to go out for an hour and a half to 2 hour to 3 hour bike ride. And that's endurance training. You've got to kind of be careful with that a little bit, and you sprinkle those in, because for a guy, they will hammer your your testosterone. It'll help bring it up on the backside, but in the beginning, it really kind of it can harm testosterone, and that has to be watched. Be active with friends and family. Jessica and I have started to go on bike rides. We do a 5 mile loop. It's a real easy loop, just gets the blood flowing, gets us feeling good. And that's one of the things, if you can do it with your spouse and you can connect and have that time, it's really good. CrossFit, once again, is good for a community because everybody goes in, they're all doing the same thing, everybody's working together. These are all just really good things that support you in a healthy lifestyle. Keeping track of your progress, when you do that and you're making it a regular routine, you will see growth. You will see, I hear the footsteps of salvation. The nerd in me gets to relax, but I will finish. Howdy, baby. Sorry, I was going over the nerdy stuff of exercise, and now you're here to save me. Keep track of your progress because that gamifies it. And although Jessica and I don't track everything, got to see this face because I evidently made her coffee poorly this morning.
Missing something.
The oat creamer. I bet you I forgot. I forgot. Sorry. But let's go back to here and finish out these last couple of things. Keep track of your progress. That gamifies it. And then you also get to see where you do get stronger. Make exercise more fun. Jessica, Tina, and Gracie have been doing dance videos, and they just have fun with it together. And find activities you can do even when the weather is bad. Once again, my default is going back to CrossFit and having fun there. But I am kind of a type A personality, and I like that. I like that input. I like that ability to have a routine, and I'm very structured about it. And when we talk about that, most importantly, exercise is supposed to be
fun.
Supposed to be fun. Why do you say it that way? I haven't made it hard, have I?
No, I don't exercise with you.
We ride bikes.
Yeah, we do ride bikes.
Today was the first day we didn't ride a bike together.
Nope.
So I'll have to go for a run. She already did her time on the bike.
And I'll do some more tonight.
And that's just part of it. But what are the benefits that you see with exercise? What do you like about the exercise that you do?
I just like being outside.
Outside in the sun with the vitamin D. Dead air space. Well, talking about vitamin D, we learned something the past few weeks ago, and it was all to do with vitamin D. And I had my first ever patient that had high vitamin D, and I came to you and said, what? Explain this to me, because we had 2 tests.
Oh yeah, we had 2 tests. One where she had too much vitamin D, and the other one where she was deficient, which I correlated it to same thing with iron. I have lots of free floating iron, but none on my hemes, so you don't have anything to transport it through it.
And so I had to do a little more education on myself and get into trying to figure out why this could be, because we're all educated people here, and I'm going, this is really funky. Why would this be this way? And so what ends up happening, especially with vitamin D, what we found out was that you have LabCorp, who is the largest laboratory around here, and they do a serum vitamin D. So this is what's in the blood. That is a serum test. The test that I ran on this patient was by SpectraCell. And this is a functional test. This measures the amount in the white blood cells. So, like to Jessica's point about the vitamin D or about the iron, explain that again, what you were talking about.
So, well, some people are anemic. So I was usually anemic. So I would take a bunch of iron supplements that are prescription, and then they would test me and I would be deficient. But if they did another test, I would have plenty of iron in my system. So you have free floating iron in your blood, but it wouldn't attach. So you have red blood cell that carries iron, and you have 4 hemes on it. And on those 4 hemes is where your iron attaches. But you have to have things to get the iron out of your blood system that's free flowing onto these hemes. And if they don't attach to the red blood cell on the heme, then it doesn't transport to where you need it. And that's where I was. So that's kind of with this vitamin D. So you can have vitamin D free floating in your blood, like the liquid part of your blood, but you can't move it through to use it.
And so I liken it to a gas tank. So if you look at the bloodstream, that's your gas tank. And she had plenty of vitamin D in the blood. Actually, she had greater than 100 milligrams per deciliter.
Which actually sets people up for risk for kidney stones.
And then what happens is if you have a gas tank and your gas tank is full of gas, but your fuel pump is broken, and the fuel pump in this case is the cellular membrane, because you have to have a healthy membrane to take vitamin D out of serum and into the cell. And if you don't have the good cellular membrane, this won't happen. You won't get vitamin D into the cell. And that's exactly what was happening, because over here, if I remember right, the amount inside the cell was 23 nanograms or whatever. It was low. I forget the exact number. It was very low. And so we have to strengthen her cellular membrane so that it can take the vitamin D and put it into the cell. That was a very interesting thing. And how this relates to movement is if you're not getting vitamin D is one of your feel-good hormones. It helps with inflammatory response. It helps with strengthening the bones. It does lots of things that you need, and it helps take actually vitamin K. You need vitamin K with it. When you take a vitamin D supplement, you should always be taking the supplement with fat so that the body can help move that back into the cell. And then that's what helps with all the things that we need to do for movement.
Get out in the sun.
You did that this morning.
Yep. Go out in the sun. You'll make your own vitamin D. You won't have to take it.
Yeah, and it's all prepped and ready for the cell proper. Well, anything else to add to this?
No, I don't know what you said.
Oh, I just went over statistics, and I did go over the Escape Fire movie. I just went over the 10 things that exercise does. And then I went over, you came in on me as I was going over how to make exercise a part of the routine.
It really doesn't have to be that complicated. Just get outside and go move.
Yep. High intensity interval training is really good for the brain and BDNF, but go at it slowly, because that's when you can get hurt. That's that HIIT, that HIIT that everybody talks about. But you don't have to do that. You can just do something simple like
you don't have to have a gym membership. You don't have to spend expensive money on CrossFit. You don't have to have expensive equipment. You just have to walk outside.
Yeah, we
walk
have gym
outside, go to
memberships
the
and we
park.
haven't been to the gym in a year.
I go to the gym every once in a while to use the pool, but I like to watch the squirrels and we watched squirrels and the rabbits were playing together. I almost ran over a few rabbits.
Saw
In the
black cat.
trees. There's a black cat hiding in the weeds.
Black cat hiding in green grass sticks out like a sore thumb.
Walk to the end of your road and back. Go to the park.
Yeah.
Walk down to the Dairy Queen and get a water. I don't care. Just move. It may even be that you just have to get off your couch and just go to your kitchen for a glass of water.
And on top of that, until August 1st,
I think so.
yeah. So we've gone to several different factories. And in these factories, we were talking about how diet affects people. And people are very interested in getting their blood drawn and looking at those functional levers. And when they're looking at those functional levers, we decided that we would do something that we haven't done before. And we're going to do a 20% off on nutritional testing. We've never done this before, and we're only going to do it until August 1st. But this is your opportunity to come in and get testing done and look at things and then actually get your reading done and get some help on trying how to be healthier.
And if you just can't give up that donut, at least walk to go get it.
And don't forget, local functional medicine patients, 7/13, July 13th at 5 o'clock. We are going to do a screening here of escape fire and call the clinic so that you can reserve your spot. Thank you. Here we go now. Now we can wait. Thank you for taking this time to look into the health of you and your loved ones. This broadcast does not constitute a doctor-patient relationship. It is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only and is not a replacement or substitute for care. If you are having issues, please seek a qualified professional trained in functional medicine. We would be happy to be of assistance with both in-person and virtual consultations. Thank you.